Good day. Thank you for choosing to be here today. This is Strength for Today, and you are with me, George Mkandawire. The thought that I would like to leave with you today is the following. Our example is the 318 persons that were raised by Abraham. We always ask a question: what is the contemporary perspective on faith? And most people would say, being deliberate about raising this type of persons is difficult. Now let's ask a question. What is the picture that the scriptures paint of faith? Still dealing with Hebrews chapter number 11 and verse number 1. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. I am continuing with the discussion on things that one should strongly believe in or strongly feel about. That means he is convicted about these things. And I'm also taking the time to talk about the need for us to raise people who would use God's ordinances to change the operating systems in different walks of life. And the example that I would like to give today is that of Abraham, who is the father of our faith, and he raised 318 individuals in his household. So we want to focus on the 318 individuals. And these 318 individuals were able to defeat 4 notable as well as strong kings. Let's read from Genesis chapter number 14. It's going to be a long read, so you bear with me if I go over time for today. Genesis 14 and verse number 1. And it came about in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elasah, Shaldolamah, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of Goim. This confederation, or this alliance consisting of 4 kings, was a powerful alliance. Now, let's skip to Genesis 14 and verse number 9, and I'll read to verse number 10. Again, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of Goim, and Amraphel, king of Shipha, and Arioch, king of Elasah, the 4 kings against 5. Verse number 10. Now the valley of Shittim was full of tar pits, and the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, and they fell into them. But those who survived fled to the hill country. Now, I want you to see that the confederation of the 4 kings managed to defeat the confederation of the 5 kings, which shows me that the underdogs won on that day. Now watch in verse number 13, verse number 11 to verse number 13 of Genesis 14. Verse 11. Then they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their food supply and departed. Verse 12. They also took Lot, Abraham's nephew, and his possessions, and departed, for he was living in Sodom. Verse number 13. Then a fugitive came and told Abram, the Hebrew. Now he was living by the oak of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol and brother of Anna, and these were allies with Abraham. We are not so sure how many individuals were in the camp of the 4 kings, but we have the number of the people who were on Abraham's side, which is 318 individuals. Now observe what happens with the 318 individuals. Verse number 14 of Genesis 14. When Abraham heard that his relative had been taken captive, he led out his trained men, born in his house, 318, and went in pursuit as far as Dan. You might want to ask, what kind of people were these? Abraham trained them, and Abraham led this special group of people. Now, due to the circumstances surrounding policy-making offices, or what we see being done in the policy-making offices, it is time that we too begin to raise and train up people. My son, Abram raised and trained 318 individuals. We too need to do the same. Grace and peace to you. Amen.